The face of a loser. One big giant loser. If he took coronavirus seriously, if he tweeted out for Americans to be a hero and wear a mask, this guy could have won re-election. But instead, he is one big giant loser who blew through 400 million of daddy's money. A big giant loser. That is who Donald Trump is. You know who supports Trump? Losers. Only a loser would support Trump. It's no coincidence that Trump has the same Gematria losers. This is why this was the easiest election to ever predict. Trump was trying to gut Obamacare for millions of supporters. States won by Trump had the highest Obamacare enrollment. As a matter of fact, under Donald Trump, for the first time in U.S. history, billionaires paid a lower tax rate than the working class for the first time in history. There is massive evidence out there that Donald Trump supporters are losers. Sore losers after the election of the 46th President of the United States are the deplorables that Hillary Clinton was talking about. Now, I hate Hillary. Most people on the left hate Hillary, which is why Trump won in 2016, because Hillary was more hated than Donald Trump. But she is absolutely right about Donald Trump's base. They are truly a bunch of deplorable sore losers. Because Donald Trump lost the election fair and square, the only voter fraud that happened was the Republicans trying to toss out mail-in ballots. That's the only voter fraud that happens. Why would Democrats participate in voter fraud when Democrats win elections when voter turnout is high? That's the only way Republicans can win. The only way Republicans can win is by suppressing the vote or when Democratic voters stay home. That's the only way that Republicans win. Why would the Democrats try to fix an election when they're guaranteed to have record voter turnout? Why would that happen? Democrats mostly benefit from higher voter turnout, which is why the Republicans tried to suppress the vote and they tried to steal the election from Joe Biden. But Trump's own law firm knows that Trump has no evidence at all. They withdrew themselves from the Pennsylvania case challenging the election. The Georgia judge threw out the Trump lawsuit over voter fraud in a blow to his electoral hopes. There was zero evidence at all because Donald Trump and his base are sore losers. Trump cheats at golf. Trump has always been a sore loser in his life. According to his first wife, he was always a bad loser. Pennsylvania and Michigan threw out the Donald Trump election fraud cases. Sharpiegate was a big hoax. Sharpies, they still count your votes in Arizona if you use a Sharpie. And Lindsey Graham commits voter fraud when he is trying to get the Georgia Secretary of State to throw out mail-in ballots. As a matter of fact, Georgia's Secretary of State, I wonder which party he belongs to. He couldn't believe this. He is a Republican. He's a Republican. And according to U.S. intelligence officials, this is the safest election ever. So Donald Trump and his base are a bunch of big, giant, sore losers trying to steal the election for a fascist dictator authoritarian wannabe. This is why Donald Trump praises North Korea. This is why he praises Russia. Donald Trump wants an authoritarian dictator quasi-democracy. Donald Trump wants a dictatorship in which Donald Trump can rig the vote in areas that don't like him. How do you think Putin and other authoritarian leaders around the world rig their elections? They don't count the votes that are in the areas that do not support them. There is no voter fraud at all. There is zero evidence of voter fraud. Why would voter fraud happen when Wall Street gets what it wants regardless of which party's in power? Why would they care who wins the election? Wall Street wasn't going to see their stock tank after Biden got elected. because Biden is a corporatist. Wall Street gets whatever it wants regardless of which party's in power. So why would they rig an election when they get what they want regardless of who's in power? The answer is because Donald Trump and his base are sore loser deplorables in this uneducated base of hillbilly redneck trash doesn't realize that Biden won fair and square. Mail-in votes are going to be counted last because in a pandemic, Biden told his voters to vote by mail because we are in a pandemic. Donald Trump failed to rig the election. Donald Trump wanted everybody to vote in person so he could prevent the mail-ins from being counted. That was the only rigging that was happening. The only rigging that was happening was when Louis DeJoy purposely disobeyed a judge order to sweep through the mail-in rooms because he did not want all those ballots to be counted. That was the only voter fraud happening. This was the safest election ever in history according to security officials, and Donald Trump fired the head of the national security bureau that mentioned this. He fired him today, as a matter of fact. You can check it out in the description. The only sore loser is Trump. The only loser is Trump. He's a big, giant loser. There's no excuses. No one is creating a pandemic to try to lose re-election for Donald Trump. He could have just taken COVID-19 seriously, and that's all that was needed to win the election. So they're sore losers. And Gematria says, they don't lie, they are sore losers. Trump is a lying narcissist who will say anything that exists outside of his self-absorbed reality. He wants everyone to love him. He wants himself to think that everybody loves him. This is the reactions of a deranged, narcissistic madman who's upset that he lost the election. Of course a narcissist is going to think otherwise, because a narcissist is going to think that everybody loves them. They're self-absorbed. That's how narcissists think. Of course he's going to be a narcissistic petty child in regards to the outcome of this election, but don't ask the gold base this, because it says the fine print. The fine print says that the money going towards the lawsuits is going to go towards Donald Trump's campaign debt. They're losers. They don't realize they're being conned. They're going towards the campaign debt. They have been conned. They've been had. They cover the campaign debt. That's the only reason why this is happening. So quit being a sore loser, because Trump was fair and square. I voted Green Party, but quit sabotaging the transition of the Biden administration. Quit being a lying, deceitful charlatan who's going to sabotage public confidence in elections because of his despotic basket of lies. A big fat liar, hungry and mad for power.